Here we are with another Friday Night Live Zoom. And it's what, June 18th, 2021, I assume. So let's see if this thing is going through. Gotta double check here because sometimes it plays games. Let's see here. I think it's working. Awesome. If anybody can hear me, put their thumbs up. Cheers. Some kidney tea. Hope everybody's doing great. We have some challenges happening around the home. We always love Mercury's energies to bring us new challenges. We have a new, well, it's not new, but a leak on one of our main windows that resurfaced after fixed it a couple of years ago and several times. And it's sprung a leak again. It's the builder never did a great job. We had put complaints in the first couple of years, at least I remember, and they never really solved it. And then once their warranty thing was up, I had a look at it myself, and there was a huge gap on top of the window with air going right through, so I sealed it all up and did all that, and that was fine for a while. And then we got a new leak, and it was coming from the top, so I think it's the same place now. It's just caulking. But today our hot water tank kaputted. Actually, it was last night. Woke up with no hot water, so I've been playing with that for a while to try and figure out what's wrong. I think we found the problem after taking it apart, cleaning it, and talking to the tech. These are just things that happen during Mercury. And we embrace it, send the plaf, send the energy back. Hello, Paula. So, yeah. If you have any questions, otherwise, we'll move on. The lifestyle of less is more is not something that's popular, that's for sure, because people are looking for magic events, and the magic does happen for those who live it and love it, as we've seen many thousands of times. But you know, it is what it is. The new understanding is very powerful, and it's I've seen it scare people. I've actually seen it scare people, and you know, that's something that you can't convey through words. We must go through the experiences, and then the understanding starts to express itself. And that's where some people will go into fear because of the power of how all the emotions come to the surface. As everything goes back to intent and emotions. We have a long train from our ancestors and stuff we've accumulated ourselves, obstructions we've accumulated through physical, mental, emotional imbalances. And these things here are all part of the process. You know, not everybody's going to agree with us, that's for sure. And that's okay. Nothing can take me off the path of the understanding that I've gained over these 3+ decades. It's been just a blessing. And every single aspect of all the experiences I've been through and all the difficulties and everything were just a beautiful blessing to teach me. And we continue to learn. We just scratched the surface, and we've been able to accomplish so much with that little bit of understanding of scratching the surface. The doors have been opened, and we keep them open. We keep those energies flowing, and that's what it's about. Continuously sending out that plasma love always flowing, that is always there, always in motion, always flowing. And anybody can choose to tap into that energy source. It's the source where all comes from. Divine Creator. That beautiful, wonderful Plough energy, that love energy. The energy of giving continuously without having any thought of anything else except just to give and to expand and to continue to love and continue to experience. A lot of people are going through difficult times now. We've been in this spiritual war for thousands of years. And evil has upped its game, so we have to up our game and be that change, living in that divine light and continuously sharing that light. Carissa, hello from Belize. Hey, Belize, that's a nice place. Paula, hello, Gene around. Hope you can fix everything easily. Well, everything is repairable. It takes the time it takes to get parts and all that. Or you call a service guy and pay through the nose, ears, give him an arm and give him a leg. I like doing everything myself, so we'll be okay. We will be able to handle it. It'll take a little bit longer than usual because I do it myself. But the prices of everything and parts and labor has gone through the roof on everything. It's just gone insane in this last year. So we continue to do the best we can. Carissa, you living in Belize? I was there in what year was that? About 3 years ago or so, I think it was. Beautiful, beautiful place. We went into the forests, into the rivers. Beautiful, just beautiful nature. And beautiful fruit. When I was down there doing a lot of dry and eating fruit, you don't want to crave anything else when you have all that wonderful fruit available to you. You don't need to indulge in anything else. The fruit is beautiful, high quality. The papayas were wonderful. What's that chocolate tasting fruit again? The big long one, like a football. That one there was it's awesome. It's like chocolate pudding. What's that called again? We don't see them very much up here, if at all. And if we do see them, they are not ripe. So, Anthony, how you doing? Bluff, one and all. Gino and I, good to see you. Gino, wait, where's Rana? Oh, she's up doing her meditation time. She'll be back down soon. At 9 o'clock is when she does her meditation. So, all is well, Anthony. How's it going down in the? You're in Florida, California. I can't remember. Sapote, that's the one. It's like chocolate pudding when they're ripe. It's just awesome. Very heavy fruit, very heavy feeling. You can't eat large amounts of it, but beautiful, wonderful taste. Fruit is the food of choice for giving our body the least challenges through the act of eating. And it's very difficult for many people to stick on just fruit. You know, even for myself up here, you know, not being able to get always the best quality fruits and so on and so forth. You know, we indulge in some leafy greens and vegetables and stuff like that. It's all okay. But you know, the whole thing about let's keep our eating experiences to a minimum. Let's focus on fasting lifestyle. We know now, you know, what diet that is the one that we want to indulge in when we want to eat, when we want to have some fun tasting flavors. It's the fruit kingdom, mainly. Leafy greens, which includes, of course, the herbs. And then we get into the heavier stuff. All good for sure, but these tropicals blow my mind. Fasting is key, though. Yes, absolutely. There's Rana. She's back.
Hi, guys.
Anthony was asking, where are you? Said she's meditating.
I was praying. I like to do my prayers on time. I like to do them on time. That was the sunset prayer at 9 o'clock. 9:10. That's better, I think. Hi, Anthony. It's been a while. How are you? Yeah, thank you. Praying is very important. Praying, some people meditate. It's nice to do it on time, regularly. Yeah, 5 times a day. I do my best to do it on time. How are you doing? How is it going with fasting and eating? Yeah, fasting is key. Natural tropical fruits. Yeah. What's your favorite fruit? Tropical fruit. It's nice to eat local wherever you are, you know. I find. Of course, the tropics would have the best weather for the fruits, but it's nice to eat local. We grew some berries here. I got all kinds of berries that I could get to grow, and This year it was like it was hard to get berry plants. The only ones I was able to get was blueberries, and blueberries are hard to grow compared to the other berries. But we
They,
have the blackberries and we have raspberries every year.
they
But
grow in the wild fine.
blackberries, yeah, I just want to. They are more demanding than other berries. Yeah, they're more demanding.
Cultivating them.
Yeah, they need more alkaline soil
Save your seeds.
compared to the other berries.
I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
You mentioned about tropical fruits, these organic cultivated fruits. Yeah, natural or tropical fruits that are growing in the wild. There's the energy is different. All the wild plants, like when we go into the herb kingdom, go and make yourself a salad of wild herbs, wild greens. There's no comparison. You can't even eat anywhere near what you can eat through cultivated foods because the energy is so strong. The field strength's very, very high in wild foods. It's not been weakened through man's manipulation, because every time man puts their hands in things, guess what? It moves towards imbalance, doesn't move towards balance. The key is leaving things alone. Nature.
Yeah, that's why that's why I love I love this year. I said berries would be because they're low maintenance. You don't need to do much. You just leave them. Actually, this year they grew beautifully. The black raspberries and blackberries. They still not mature, even the raspberries, but they are growing much better than the past 2 years. This is the third year. Yeah, last year was pretty much nothing, and the year before. So it's really nice to see that. I think the soil was much happier, is much happier, because probably because last year I put a lot of leaves. I collected from the neighborhood leaves in the fall time, and I just covered the whole soil with leaves. And there are still leaves on the ground. And I think the worms and other organisms love that, and I think it keeps the soil moist in the summer too. When it rains, it just holds the water. Yeah, and I got another apple tree because we have one here. It's a dwarf. I got another dwarf because it needs for pollination, right? It's a pollination. It needs another apple tree. I didn't know that, so but it was so hard to find anything really in the
Everything was sold out.
in the nursery. Like for the first time, even last year wasn't like that. It's so everything is pretty much sold out. It was really hard, and it took 2-3 months for them to arrive. It's crazy, 2-3 months for them to arrive. But we got some stuff, as much as I can get, and the space is filled now with berries and the apple trees, 2 apple trees. It's always, fruits are very low maintenance, and that's why I love them. But we are growing also some herbs and tomatoes and
Grapes.
the tomatoes are lots of the tomatoes that I have. They're small, but all I did last year after eating, we take the seeds and I just throw them on the soil. And every time we eat, I either collect them and dry them, or I throw them on the soil. And this year we have so many tomatoes, like they're small because the season is short, right? It's either you buy them grown in a greenhouse and they're bigger now, but or you let them just grow on their own without a greenhouse, and they will only be here for a short time because the season is very short. Yeah, plants are selling out here, South Florida.
Save your seeds for sure. Very important these days. Simplicity forage, grow less, all energy, less cooking. I mean, grow more. Yeah, this is the keys, Anthony. It's simplicity. Leave nature alone; it corrects itself, as I was saying. Look at we've mentioned this before about the Chernobyl disaster. They went in. They've done documentaries many years later going in there, and they found this black mold growing where the highest concentrations of the radiation were. Isn't that amazing? Why would that be? Well, because nature knows what to do. Nature knows what to do to bring back balance. So that there is growing in the higher radiation zones because it's consuming that radiation, bringing it back to balance. You know, like man says, what do they call that? The half-life or whatever of radiation, thousands of years or whatever. That's what they man believes through their theories and so on and so forth. But when you get nature involved without doing anything, just leave it alone. Man is always wrong.
Yeah, it's always nice to
Nature.
leave things as wild as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but and if you have to feed yourself and your family, just do your best.
Nature knows what to do. Like if you look at the Chernobyl, there's a documentary they did. There's plants thriving and wildlife in that area where all the radiation was was hit. So is man correct? What man does is through ignorance, they do things that they have no control over, believing that they're going to be able to find a solution after disasters happen. It doesn't work that way. Like if any common sense would say this radiation, we don't know how to control it, we don't know what to do with it, let's not play with it. That would be common sense. But no, man says, yeah, we can use this and then we'll figure out how to take care of it when a disaster happens. And, thousands, if not more people die and millions of people get affected from all of these bullcrap theories that humans come up with. Plants are selling out here. Florida replenishes this week. I see the veggie plants. I see, yeah. It's people are going crazy buying plants. It's awesome. Was it last year when the first in the spring we went to go buy plant? They were all sold out everywhere. Well, what's going on? This year, I guess they prepared a little more, so we were able to
They prepared so much this year.
There was a lot more available. Seed sharing will be the new hobby for many and builds communities to be near as far as can confidently mail ship. Yeah. It's like a detox on the actual problem to renewal naturally. Yeah.
You mentioned that you're doing level like 2 to 4 days of fasting. Can you go down a little bit? Yeah, we missed it. I think 2 to 4 days of fasting, which is amazing. That's great. I'm sure in between you're learning more and more how to eat. I love the levels because they just put a little bit of structure. I know many people have complained about them, but what else are we gonna do? It's either we fast or we eat. So have a little bit of a structure so you know what you're doing. It's a little bit of a plan. Nobody's gonna beat you up if you don't do a level, but my goodness, I found many people on the master fast, when we brought that change, they were so resistant, but then other people took it and beautifully. And it's just, I feel like some of us complain and when there's a change, and some of us just take it. And I think it's nice for us to learn how to take in changes, as long as they're not hurting us. If they're hurting us, yeah, sure, you can resist it. But if it's
that was about radiated areas from nuclear. Yeah, that's the Chernobyl disaster in Russia. Was it Chernobyl? Yeah. And of course, there's the Japan one that happened a few years back, and so on. There's many of these cases. There's another one just leaking somewhere. I was reading. I don't know if it was in China or something. These disasters happen everywhere. A big, huge dam collapsed in China. Big major floods. This is all man's crap.
Is it nuclear?
Trying to dam. Trying to control water. Good luck. You get angry, water angry. It's just a matter of time before it wants to do what it needs to do. Anthony, I love the levels, freedom and health. Yeah, everything's in the levels. People are resistance to
Change.
you know, change or whatever. Like level 7 is, you know, go as long as you want, live it, love it.
Like some people, you know, what say doing a long master fast is better. Okay, do level 7. You know,
That's level 7.
level 7. If you feel you're ready for that, then do it. But do it as a lifestyle. Like have the mindset that this is a lifestyle. This is not a joke, because we all broke our long fast, and it was not fun. It was really hard for me. It was always difficult, and I always, yeah, you know, I mean, I did 100 days before massive fast, and I still remember how addicted I was to the food. So it's okay, but I didn't plan it as a lifestyle of fasting when I did 100 days before master fast, and so I ate every day afterwards, and it was definitely wrong, you know, in many ways, because I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like just hungry, like everything that not hungry, but more like craving, like I want to eat everything.
But for me, fasting is vitally important. The fasting should be all our focus because we're all experts at eating. We know that, right, Anthony? Especially being Italian, we are experts at eating. So let's put all our focus on fasting, because when we're eating, we don't need to put any focus. We've done it for so long. We know how to do it. We need to. The only thing we need to do is minimize and limit
And eat
our
the
eating
least
and
obstructive, of course.
and yeah, and choose the least obstructive foods when we choose to eat for fun.
Which is honestly harder than fasting. So
yeah,
there is learning.
Eating is not a necessity, right, Anthony? You have that understanding now of the massive transformation that you've been through, and you shared with your interview. It was awesome, and you know, with all that, you know, we keep growing and growing with the new understanding, and really shed the light on how important the fasting is. And the reason it's so important is because it's all work of the spirit. The physicality doesn't matter when you get in those fasting states, you know, especially when you're doing it as a lifestyle, and then, you know, you're doing the longer ones. It's just like, wow, okay, bring it on. You know, food, okay, yeah, okay, we like food, but there's nothing compared to that fasting state and tasting that nectar of God, especially on the long dries. You get that wonderful sensation. Anthony, but clean, mucus, lean food in between. Absolutely, yeah. Only, yeah. Awesome, you're doing great then. Told friends today, hunger is an emotion. I am more on emotion than fasting. Yeah, yeah. You know, for the average person, we start discussing this stuff, they think we're gone. You don't need to eat and all this stuff. It's very, very difficult and challenging. Even I've seen people fasting, you know, for years, intermittent fast, this and that, and you start talking about you don't need to eat, and they don't have the understanding, because in the realm of MFS, we are in different levels. Not saying that's better or anything, but we have an understanding that's expanded within us to have our realization of the body works on fields, not matter. And with that understanding, everything changes. Everything changes. And we start to express and embrace the fields more and more and more. That's why we say we love eating, but we love fasting way more. Because what's eating going to bring you? You're limited. It's going to limit you no matter what diet it
would be nice to eat all your, you know, like your own grown food, if you can eat it like as, you know, raw, in the raw form, because we know raw is easier to digest. So yeah, and you know, when we all tried raw food, when we did raw food, the cravings were much less. There's no question about it, right? The cravings were not much less. There were no cravings for cooked food when you're eating the raw food. But once you start eating some cooked, you are more cooked, and then you experiment with that and experiment a little bit more obstructive. And so yeah, raw, in my opinion, is much easier to control your cravings with raw, and also more limited choices, because if you go to your families, you eat raw food. So if there is no raw food, you know, you're gonna eat the salad, right? or you bring some salad and raw food with you. So this way you're more controlled. Whereas if you go somewhere or you invite people and you cook for them, you will eat your own food too, so it's much easier to just say, okay, I'm gonna do raw. It's limited, yes, but at the same time it really helps you with the digestion and the cravings, less obstructions. I always loved raw when I did raw. There were no cravings for warm food like some people would think.
Anthony, or the no water thing. I don't carry water ever. They freak. Yeah, like just think about the conditioning that we had with water, Anthony. When I grew up, and I'm sure we're about this similar age, when we grew up, do you ever remember anybody talking about carrying water around? That was a whole marketing scheme.
Not even my age.
It was a whole marketing scheme. And boy, did people buy it, hook, line, and sinker. It was just a big scam to, create an industry. And once you realize and have the understanding that we don't need to drink any water, there's so much more freedom. Just like when you're not eating, there's so much more freedom. You're not eating, not drinking, so much more freedom. So yeah, it's awesome. Like that water, I was bashed a lot about the water thing. I still stopped drinking water because nobody was going down that route. I've not seen many people talk about that. I've seen people say limited, very so don't drink any water. You don't need to drink any water because we don't. The body hydrates itself. Marco, how you doing, buddy? Just started green juices past week. Very gassy, my friends. Oh, but craving them all of a sudden. Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll crave those greens, whatever. Some emotions come to the surface and we slow down with some greens. Yeah, they're much more energy is needed to even digest green juices, right? This is why you get into gases and so on and so forth. It's a lot more work to digest greens, even their juices. Isn't that incredible?
This week, yeah, I've been drinking more than usual this week, and also, yeah, I don't know why cravings, but also like I wasn't feeling very comfortable this week emotionally. People's emotions on Facebook do affect you, and we had someone who criticized me pretty badly a few days ago, which is pretty sad. Actually, thank you for thanking me for praying, because that person told me that I have nothing to do with God and I'm a hypocrite. So what can you do? You have to deal with people's sometimes emotions, I guess, and my own emotions too. We all have emotions, but it's pretty sad. We do our best, running this group. It's been 6 years. Many people know us, and they are still with us, thank God. And other people will come and go. But yeah, I've been drinking more than usual. And I have been having almost every day, at the end of the day, tomato soup that I strain really well. So it becomes with lots of herbs.
Tomato juice, basically.
Yeah, with lots of herbs. So it becomes either like Italian herbs, or I've been making it more like tom yum the past 2 days. Tom yum soup with the lemongrass, the lime leaves, right? And some Korean hot pepper and stuff like that. It's so delicious. It's delicious, but at the same time, dry fasting is more delicious. Dry fasting definitely tops it, and I still like to drink the juice and do the herbs. Of course, we're having the kidney tea and herbs right now, and the tinctures.
Anthony, never. It's all marketing about the water. Absolutely, it's just everything. The whole science is all marketing. It's called gatekeeping us from the true knowledge. That's all the science is. That's the way I see it. Emotional week here too. I love you. Have faith and share. You're grounding us too. Some don't get that. Yeah, well, that's
you.
why we're still here. I don't have that craving strained tomatoes. To like hot juice with herbs. Um, yeah, I've done that. I've done that, or done I don't that I've done that maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, he corrected
Mm.
it. Hi, Elaine.
Yeah, the hot juice is
Tomato
nice too.
juice. Yeah, tomatoes. It's just like, especially it being Italian, we love tomatoes. It's
But
just
yeah, but I'm getting
it's
tired of
it's
them. You know,
it's
I'm like I'm ready to let them go.
they're botanical fruit, fruit category, and yeah, we can have some fun with them. Like enjoy them. They
We like the
they're
juice hot.
I,
Yeah,
I,
sorry.
I don't know if anybody's ever tried a tomato juice fast.
It's not that powerful. Actually, it's a little bit acidic. You know, you can feel it. It is definitely a little bit, definitely more acidic than the
Yeah, they don't.
Concord grape juice with lemon.
They don't have the power of the
I feel the
watermelon.
acidity.
The
You know
same.
how you have like some, yeah, dry fasting is more delicious. Thank you, Elaine. Yeah, do you know how, when something is very acidic, you can feel it when you like, you can feel it. Like I can feel some, I don't know what it is, acid. Like, so yeah, it is quite acidic, but the herbs were nice. The mixture of the herbs. I love the juice actually hot, and the reason I do love it hot is because I drink it slowly when it's very hot. When it's cold, I drink it fast if I'm thirsty. I mean, not thirsty, if I'm doing a long drive and I'm drinking, and I've been extending my daily drives. Yeah, the Concord grape juice when it's hot with the herbs, of course, I drink it much slower, so it controls me, helps me control the speed. Otherwise, I don't feel good when I drink fast. I still drink fast sometimes and pay the price after all these years. Yeah, tomato raw though, yeah, good. Yeah, I think raw is definitely much easier, but the Concord grape juice is another story. Yeah, I'm tired of them too. Yeah. 29 hours into the season change dry. Awesome, awesome. Yep, tomatoes are nice. Maybe we should try doing raw tomato juice, maybe. Just a little bit easier.
Nightshade vegetables craving less and less. Used to love eggplant no more. Yeah, the whole nightshade theory. I found that the people that are sensitive to those plants, once they've cleaned up for a few years, they don't have problems with these nightshades, so-called nightshades anymore. But these are not potent um, cleansers like other certain fruits. So yeah, the foods that move through us the quickest are the ones that would be better choice.
The eggplant is a fruit, but I find it's like
Botanical.
much easier to eat it when it's cooked than when it's raw.
Well, the oriental ones, the long ones, the long purple eggplants, I used to eat those like bread, just raw, slice them up. It was like eating bread with whatever, with the salad and so on. They're really nice, really mild. But yeah, the less we eat, the better anyway. But when we do eat, have fun, and choose wisely is what we say. Whatever level you want to be of destructiveness, just enjoy it. If you start feeling pain, back off. Learn to listen to the body, especially the clean body. The plugged up body doesn't give you clear signals, is what I found through my experiences. Once you clean up for a few years, then you're going to start getting clear signals, and you're going to be able to make better judgments of which direction you want to go. Yes, I end up with canker sores from Elaine if I eat too much acid stuff like pineapples, tomatoes. The pineapples is If
Has to
they're
be
not
ripe.
ripe,
Mm.
Elaine, if you get ripe pineapples, you won't have that issue.
But it's hard to
Um,
get them ripe. Huh?
Yeah.
They have to be ripened on the tree.
So yeah, there's different. Tomatoes would be similar.
But tomatoes, I think they become acidic when we cook them. Like I can feel a difference when the tomatoes are.
I don't know
not
how
other,
much more acidity. You can do a research and pH and all
because
that. But
I feel it
I
when I
don't.
eat them, when I drink them.
I think it's the
Not,
metal pot. You know, it's not good doing tomatoes in a metal pot. It really reacts with the metal, and you get that metally taste. Anthony, I grew these sun gold tomatoes and very watery. I do like them. They are not red. Light, well, yes, I've had them.
Mm.
Yeah, there's little
Like,
ones, and then there's
like pears.
there's actually ones like grapes. There's round ones. There's these ones about yay big that one of my friends had. He used to call them the winter tomatoes because they would grow them, and they had a kind of a thick skin, and then they pull out the plants at the end of the season and hang them in their cantina, and he'd have tomatoes all year long. And I grew some of those varieties. He gave me some few years, and they just last. Just leave the plants upside down in your,
Really?
and they would last and last, and you can eat tomatoes almost all year, depending on how many you grow.
Like the roots would be up
Not, yeah, the roots, you hang them upside down.
and they wouldn't water or anything.
No, they're off. They're just hanging there.
Mm.
I've even had them on their own, and they lasted long. But you know, it's pretty interesting, all the different varieties. So yeah, the golden tomatoes are beautiful. There's so many colors of tomatoes. There's like these brown ones and dark red ones, and there's so many different varieties of tomatoes. I don't know, it's probably
Different
hundreds,
sizes.
just like every other fruit. You know, avocados. I think there's 400 varieties. Mangoes, I think there's like 600. Grapes, there's like 900 varieties. There's grasses, was it 2,000 if I remember, or 5,000? It was a lot. 5,000, right. There's so every fruit has many hundreds of varieties, if not more, if not thousands. Anthony signals, yes, it truly happens. Yeah, we wake up our senses, and that's where the real, true signals come through. When we're plugged up, you know, we've come across quite a few people starting to do master fast, and then they're, you know, living whatever lifestyle, and they start saying, yeah, their body says to break the fast, blah blah blah, this and that. None of it's true, because we've all been through this stuff. It's your body does not give you correct signals when it's plugged up. That I can assure you, because I've gone through many cycles of that, and many other people, thousands of us who've done master fasting, have shared the same thing. Once they've been in it for a few years, everything changes as far as signals and senses and so on and so forth. Thick skin, yes. So yeah. Anthony, mango season here, but for some reason, many mature trees not fruiting. Yeah, that happens. There's years of more fruit and years of less fruit. We have what's that called? The Juneberry out front, and they're just starting to get ripe. I had some today. I gotta get my head wrapped around my season change, but they're just sitting there nice and ripe.
Oh yeah, they look good.
This year there's
They
not
look
as many as
something.
last year, but that, yeah, there's, you know, some years you get bumper crops, and then other years, you know, you get some years of hardly anything. It's just the way it is. You know, the more we take care of the soil and everything, the better. But the weather affects everything, and it's just the energies around us. And there's so many influences, there's infinite influences that we can never have an understanding. We can just take care of the soil and the plant as best we can, prune them back and so on and so forth to help them. That's all we can do. Eliana, hello. Great lychee
Season though,
yeah.
the mango, he said, mango season here, but for some reason many mature trees not fruiting.
I read that.
Yeah, but the lychees are good.
Yeah, so, you know, enjoy what's growing. it's available. Found a case of mangoes that was on sale for $7.99. I haven't seen that price in a long time, because through the winter they were going for like $22 a case. Usually prior to this, lockdown thing, there was mangoes were going from anywhere from $7 to $12, $13 for a case of the Tufo, the golden ones. And then last winter, they were going up to over $20. And just just the last few weeks, they were still hanging around that $12 to $15 a case, and they were on sale. Wednesday, I went to pick up a couple cases for my mother. So that's awesome to see. But the Atufos, they're really nice mango. They don't have a lot of that stringiness. But even the ones that are the bigger type mangoes, what do they call those ones? I don't remember. But those ones, they're always hard like a rock. So I don't buy them because they're very, very stringy if they're not ripe. But when they're ripe, they're not stringy. And then, so that's the challenge with eating fruit in places that they don't grow. We have to get in from wherever. Many don't understand why the cooked grape juice, lemon juice changes the field. Speak to that for me so I can give them better exchanges.
It's definitely different from any other, like.
It's my understanding, Anthony, from all the years of fasting and playing with all these different things. Like my first fast, as I've shared, was with Concord cooked grape juice. And that put me on a tailspin. I did 40 days and releasing crap like crazy every single day, pretty much. That's all I was doing, is just drinking the juice, nothing else, with no lemon back then or anything.
31 years ago.
And I released all kinds of black plaque, the most horrific odor, stink that, it stunk up the house like oblivion, like it was horrific. I had to open the windows and doors for a while to get that smell out. It was that bad. But anyway, coming out of that fast, very little knowledge, no experience, doing things that I wasn't supposed to do, breaking the fast, whatever. But my body was in such a toxic state that it wasn't able to release the toxins fast enough. So I drowned in my own filth, and I ended up spending most of 2 years bedridden. For a big portion of the 2 years, it was an on and off thing. I would get a little bit better for a month or so, bang, back down. But the first six to 8 months, I can't remember, I was pretty much bedridden. It was horrific. And then it was just trying to get the hell out of that situation with the little information we had available, no internet, no nothing. But I did not have the understanding of what happened back then. I just didn't have it. So after all the years of continuously fasting, many different types of fasts,
raw food,
going into the raw foods later on, and so on and so forth, I really started to going to the raw foods for almost a decade. It was over 9 years of 100% raw food, pretty much. There's only a couple instances where it was raw potlucks and people would mix cooked food. And when I found out, I got pissed off because I was an anal raw foodist. But anyway, God bless everybody. Right now it wouldn't faze me at all because we've come to respect everybody's choices and so on and so forth. And everybody's doing the best they understand and know. But it was a great experience eating the raw food. So I was raw as law. I was 100% raw as law. But that experience that happened in 1990, my first Concord grape juice fast, never left me. So the years going by, I went through the high fat stunt, almost killed myself, blah, blah, blah. And then came out of that. And I don't remember, I was introduced to the Kesh spaceship technology, the plasma science.
and dry fast.
I think it was, and the dry fasting. I think it was just before I ended my my high fat stunt. Anyway, I don't remember exact dates, but anyway, in and around that time, started getting deep into the plasma science and the dry fasting. I was starting to play with dry fasting, and the light came on very bright with the understanding of what happened in 1990 with the Cook juice, of how things move into higher order when we cook the hell out of them. They move into a higher order field strength. They get much, much stronger, and you can't measure it in physicality because it's not in this plane, the higher order. It's in the spirit plane of that plant. So then we, gaining more and more of the understanding of how plasma interacts, the stronger fields feed the weaker, and how gradient creates the stronger fields. When you have two opposing different field strengths and you bring them together and you get that gradient, which comes the high field strength. So that's when the light came on very bright. And I said, my goodness gracious, this juice is nano coated. It's got high field strength. I don't know if the correct terminology or anything, but it's in higher order. What happens if we put lemon? Like people are, using the lemons and so on and so forth. They have it's got a gradient because of the different colors and so on and so forth. So started doing that, and bang, I knew I was on something big. I just, the information was just pouring through and getting into the dry fast and so on, and all the information about the water, just saying they don't need water either. It was like all this stuff was starting to come through, of course, during dry fast. It was all coming through. And that's when the whole master fast thing started developing. But it's just, you're building a gradient where you're having these two field forces interacting in a powerful way and create that higher order field strength in the ether. And when we use that, it's affecting us on the emotional level because it's a higher order, but also it's working on the physical as we know it. It's a very strong purging agent, which helps you release. But the challenge is, in today's modern woman, is we're so plugged up after guiding many, many thousands of people. We are so plugged up, and people will go through the same experiences I did, drowning in our own filth, because the body is incapable of moving out these very obstructive things that are within our physicality, mental and emotional states, that are not natural. And even though we're in that fasting state, the body is having a big challenge to move these energies out because they're very gluey, or whatever you want to call it. That's why we use the herbs. That's why we use the plasma pudding, which has another gradient within itself, right? The herbs have other gradients, right? All the different herbs in same formulas, and mix all the different formulas. There's lots of gradients happening there, many different field strengths from all the different plants. So, with doing all that, we're allowing the body to purge and not have itself be stuck with these very stagnant energies within our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. We can actually start moving them out. And as we move them out, we see the magic happening, right? As we know, move out the obstructions, purge out the obstructions, and everything goes towards balance. It's just that simple. And then the body starts building up its field strength, right? The physical, mental, and emotional bodies start building the field strength. And then all these stuff starts coming to the surface, the emotions and all the healing reactions and so on and so forth, which is mostly emotion. 95% is all emotional, if not even 100%. I can't give you exact figures, and it doesn't matter. We don't need to know the exact things, how they work, and who, what, where, when, why. All we need to know is, what do we need to do to get to the body, get the body to go into a state where it can do its magic and allow the soul to work in autopilot, as we like to term, and that is fasting, and specifically the dry fasting state, right? The dry fasting is where everything happens. And then we wash it out. We squeeze and we wash it out. We squeeze and we wash it out. So these field strengths, Anthony, I don't know if you've tried the different juices and so on and so forth, all the different dark juices. Like if you do watermelon, you're going to get a different field strength than doing the grape Concord or doing a different type of grape. If you do the pomegranate, you're going to get a different field strength. If you do the berries, different berries, you're going to get a different field strength. They're all powerful in their own way, but they're all slightly different from each other. Then if you move into the light color fruits like a pineapple, you're going to get a completely different field strength, much weaker field strength. You know, mixing pineapple with some leaven, or let's say putting a little bit of grape to reverse it, putting you know, the pineapple, the majority, and a little bit of grape. You're going to have a gradient, but the field strength is not there because the high field strength comes from the dark colors. If we look at the nano coat, the darkest, it's black. It's the darkest, most absorbing of you know, all the light. It absorbs all colors. The black holes. It's all absorbing. Lots of energy, lots of power, lots of field strength, and that's, you know, what brings balance. So I don't know if I'm getting my message through, but
basically it's all about you know, the easiest way, I guess, that maybe people can relate to explain it is to talk about, you know, I say massive fast is all about releasing obstructions. You know, every single part of the protocol is there to help you release obstructions, and basically once your body releases, then it's able to, you know, it's free, it becomes free. Okay, sorry, you want to catch up?
Anthony, the herbs are absolutely the herbs. It's a night and day different experience. Anthony seems to be, for now, for years, 4 years in, it's eating corrupted our emotions. Yeah. Yep. It's the matter state is, we need to limit, we need to limit ourselves to matter state and focus on the spirit world. You know, we can enjoy food, but let's limit. Lots of watermelon, grape, and dark cherry are my go. Oh yeah, dark cherry, man, black cherry. I love black. It's very expensive up here, but it's an awesome. And some people were trying the dark cherry, and it was just too powerful for them, too much purging. Because if you get the like the prune juice, that's very strong. Like it's really black. It's stronger than the Concord grape juice. You can mix in a little bit, but be careful on the prune. I remember one woman was saying she was using prune juice. I'm going, holy geez, and she doesn't have that effect. So women generally are more plugged up than men. They have more challenges moving their bowels. Just talk to any colon therapist and they will tell you. They just, there's more emotions involved, so they have more challenges because they're holding on to more things. They can't let things go easily like we guys do, and that they pay the price of that. I love pineapple, but so much work straining it. Yeah, great message, especially about the different juices. Yeah, so we can play along with all the different juices. It's okay. If we don't want to be, you know, purging very, very powerfully, we can move down to lower color juices, or move into the green juices, which is much less purging power, right? Way less than the fruit juices. So there's many things that we do. We have so many tools. You know, everything that is going to help us, like even skin brushing. How innocent and simple that thing it looks like, you know, that procedure, but that helps the kidneys a lot. Do it at least once a day. Twice would be better, morning and evening, but at least once a day, believe you me. it's going to help, because the skin is the third kidney. And all these little physical obstructions, the skin is trying to release. Like, for example, pimples, sometimes if you see them and just leave them there, if you just give them a little helping hand, you pop them out. That's what we're talking about. So moving out these obstructions, the body sometimes has challenges moving out these obstructions. So
I feel it's like a massage, you know,
yeah, it's
for the skin, the
skin and
dry
lymphatic.
brush.
Helps.
Especially when, like, if you have a hard one, like Bernard Johnson's brushes are very hard, and it's amazing. You feel like
Refreshed.
refreshed, like you just had a really good massage. And if you do it all the time, you do it the whole body, every area in your body from head to toe. It's nice.
Yeah, agree. Message, speaking to males and females over the years is, where to go. At her business, fat more women are constipated, 4-1. Yeah, yeah, it's just the way it is. We're built differently. Women are far more emotional. Business far more women. Yeah, you corrected it. Sorry. Yeah, you know. All is well. We're built differently, and there's reasons for that. Right, different field strengths. The women has different field strength than men.
Well, I feel the women take in more. They're more maybe empathetic. They feel for other people than men. They're more caring, so they take some other people's energy more than men. They're more sensitive, and so that would maybe hurt us more, a little bit, but keep our emotions and like be holding on to the feelings.
Let things go, Elaine. Yep, just got a regular with skin brushing a month ago. It's amazing how much always comes off. I do it in the sun and see so many flakes all the time. Oh yeah, we lose average about 2 pounds of skin a day. Just think about that.
Yeah, I we do it in the shower because of all the skin that comes out, and it's much easier to do it in the shower. It's too much. Otherwise, you have to keep cleaning.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about mattresses. You should be regularly vacuuming your mattresses. Why? Because there's lots of dead skin that falls off our body during the night. When I was selling vacuums for a year and a half, we used to go into the bedrooms of people to do a test on their mattresses. And my goodness gracious, I went to one house and they had this mattress that was like 30 years old, if I remember. And as soon as I put the vacuum on, there was a big cloud. Oh man, I've never seen so much. It filled up the cup of dead skin instantly. The people were sleeping on dead bodies, basically. I don't know how many. It was full. It was completely full. So, if you don't regularly vacuum it, that's what will happen to your mattress. That's why you should at least vacuum your mattress once a month minimum. If you do it more, better. So you don't have that accumulation. It needs to be a pretty good, strong vacuum. The one we were selling was very strong. Kirby's, if anybody knows, they were powerful. And had a lot of suction power. And they would suck everything right up. So yeah, vacuum your mattresses, or you're gonna have to change your mattresses every, I don't know how many years it would take, but the mattress we have I had a custom made. It's just filled cotton. There's nothing. It's just cotton, and it's very comfortable. Very, very stiff. Very comfortable. I love it. And good stuff. Emotional eating makes seem to drink more though, maybe. Yeah, even emotions will be drinking more. The emotions affect everything. Males
seem to drink more though. Drinking like alcohol? Yeah, maybe.
You mean fluids in general, or
alcohol?
Or alcohol? Ileana. can I ask you a question? Absolutely. The meaning of holistic, what does that mean to you guys? I have watched people that live a holistic lifestyle encourage meat eating. It doesn't make sense to me how these two coincide as one. Um, Ileana, I like to look at things in fields, and my understanding is everything has a soul, and all plant life, all animals, humans, all rocks, mountains, whatever. Everything has a soul from Creator. It has the essence of creation within everything that it creates. And um, people think that rocks are not living. Well, if Creator creates something, it's living, in my opinion. It just has a different field strength that doesn't have a consciousness that we have an understanding about. So when we consume other living beings, plants, animals, um, we are inadvertently affecting their free will through our free will. So that's why we like to promote a less is more lifestyle, eating less and focusing more on fasting, the spiritual sense of it all, and keep the minimal eating to a minimal, so we don't have to um, put our free will onto other living beings, whether they be plants and or animals. Now, whatever people want to choose to eat, that's their choice. We can go back and forth about the argument of meat eating and so on and so forth. I was a vegan hardcore for many years, and it's a wonderful lifestyle if that's you want to go. But to believe that going vegan is not interfering with a living being is not correct from my understanding. Okay, other people may have a different understanding, and that's okay. Eating flesh, there's many religions that have certain sacrifices and so on, the way they eat their flesh, their meat, and so on and so forth. And the natives and so on and so forth. And they lived in harmony and balance with nature. The natives, the aboriginals of pretty much from on every continent of this planet, they lived in harmony with nature until white man came and destroyed their way of living.
And they appreciated everything about the animal. They used it all, for their for the benefit, not just not throwing it, sacrificing it.
Yeah, they would use every part of the animal. They would elevate its soul, honor it, thank it, et cetera, et cetera. They would have rituals and so on and so forth. So let's look at it this way. If you kill one animal to feed, how many people can one animal feed? Depends how big it is. It could feed many animals. We're affecting one soul. If you eat a bowl of lentils, a bowl of lentils could have probably 1,000 seeds in there, if not more. I don't know, it'd be a lot, several hundred for sure, 1,000, maybe more. So we're affecting all those souls. So that's the way I started to look at things once I started understanding plasma science. And not saying anybody's right or wrong or whatever. It's just a different understanding we have. And we discussed this in the group many times in the past, the beginning, about this vegan stuff and so on and so forth. I respect and honor people want to be vegan. That's no problem. But
at the end of the day, honestly, it's about doing what is best for you. And for me, and I'm sure for many people who like to do lots of fasting, the best option would be the least obstructive food, right?
Well, yeah, back Anthony Alcohol comes up with the meals more in my herbivore. Yeah, of course. Autocorrect is killing me. No big deal, Anthony. So what was I saying? What were we talking about? I lost
about the obstruction of the food and
vegan. So the thing we do know, Ileana, is the obstructiveness levels of the foods we consume. No ifs, ands, or buts. You consume animal products like meats or dairy being one of the highest cooked dairy of obstructiveness.
Especially cooked, right?
Oh yeah, big time. And the cooked proteins, the meats, and have some fats in there as well. So these things are very obstructive, very obstructive. If people would eat them like the Aboriginals we used to eat them, or like my parents when they grew up, they used to say they were lucky if they had meat once a week. So meaning they didn't have it once a week.
And so I imagine 100 years ago or 500 years ago, I'm sure they ate even less.
Yeah, people would be foraging more and cultivating whatever plants, going more towards that, and instead of eating animals, because it was not factory farmed at crazy levels. I don't know how many animals they are killed annually in North America. I think it's over 1 billion. So can you imagine worldwide? It's several billion animals every year.
And lately we have been seeing videos of the meats being magnetic.
Oh yeah, they're putting everything into the meat industry and through all the drugs they inject it with and everything and so on and so forth. So yeah, Ileana, I agree. If you're gonna want to live a lifestyle of less is more, let's say you still consume flesh, but it's only maybe once a month or maybe once every few months. It's not a big deal if you're okay with it. You have to be okay with it. Don't have to worry about anybody else, and you have to have that understanding. But I feel that it's best that we leave the animal kingdom alone, and going towards the plant kingdom. I don't feel it makes us any better.
But without judgment
Spiritually.
towards anyone, as long as you are at least in harmony with what you're eating, you can,
So
and if you can make it as natural the process as possible, that would be great. I mean, vegan food can be very obstructive as well. If even better, like let's say olive oil, a good quality olive oil, that's obstructive too, So fish or a salad full of olive oil, like I don't know.
Depends on the quantities as well and so on.
Yeah.
But let's remember, the meats definitely are going to be more obstructive. Is eating flesh as a holistic type of diet? It depends how it's done. If you look at how the Aboriginals lived, they lived holistically, but they weren't eating meat every day. Anthony, agree. Let's others eat in harmony, but excess of any matter is obstructive. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Let's look at the obstructiveness of the foods and minimize it. Let's look at it this way. As we mentioned this before. Let's say the whole planet cut their meat consumption by 50% right now. My goodness gracious, what an impact that would be on the planet. Massive, just mind blowing. Let's say we do it, they cut it 80%. Oh man, we'd have a whole different world, because it's not sustainable to eat meat the way it's been eaten from humanity in this factory farm way setting. It's not sustainable. It's just not for all
But
the
at the
people
end
on
of the
this
day,
planet.
this is going to be a responsibility of every individual, right? Every individual will have to connect and have to make the choice for what is best for them, which is going to be the best for the environment, really. What is best for every one of us is the best for the environment. Just being in harmony, with the environment is the way to go. And everyone has to make that decision on their own, whether to be in harmony or not. And without force, without judgment towards anyone, we just have to do our best and live in harmony ourselves. If we can influence someone and inspire them to be in harmony, that's great. If we can, then that's okay too.
Anthony, after fasting and breaking with fruit, I know exactly what to eat 2 days prior to being in public. That inflames me enough. So people that don't ask me things like, "Are you okay? Why are you thin?" Seriously, in harmony, some cooked light oil or avocado blows me up. Yeah, everybody who's been master fasting knows clearly these foods are not something the body wants. It's very clear. We all have the same experiences. Once you clear it out, your senses are opened up and very sensitive, and your body will discuss exactly what's going to agree with you and what not with clarity. Clarity. There won't be no doubt anymore. And if you keep doing it over and over, you just plug yourself up again and go back to where you were, right? We know that. But yeah, you know, we suggest, people choose to go to mainly a fruitarian type of lifestyle with leafy greens if they choose and some veggies. That's what we suggest. If people want to include some flesh, go ahead, but make it minimal. Don't make it a regular thing. A weekly thing is regular. Even once a week is too regular. Once a month would be the absolute most I would suggest for people who really can't let go of their flesh eating. So
But much easier, actually, it is really much easier to completely let it go than to have it once in
yep,
a while, because it does trigger me if I eat something once in a while, because I used to eat it before, and all these cravings and memories would come back, and it's emotional, right? So they come back and I start craving again. So it's better for me. Like when I did raw food, it's much easier to not eat cooked food, because once I eat cooked food, it's so easy to want more.
oh yeah.
That's why I think it's a little bit good to have a plan and just follow your plan that works for you.
If you stay raw, it's easier to stay raw.
For sure.
If you go into the cook, you're going to want to eat more
If
cook.
you
It's
do
just the
like
way it is.
80% raw, it's harder.
We have the understanding why. The cooked foods have higher order field strength, even though they're physically obstructive. And that's why we get addicted to that higher field strength energy, but we have to deal with the physicality, which is not fun. Whereas, with the juice, the fruit juice, that we don't have that because it's a fruit, which is the least obstructive, and in a higher order state is actually a very powerful purgent. So, it's very interesting when we're looking at all this.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
we,
massive fast is very different from eating cooked food. It's all about
yeah,
releasing
it's all about
obstructions.
purging.
Everything in the protocol is there to help us release. But also, we want to remember there's like the dry and then the wet, dry, wet. That feeling we all feel it, right? When we go dry and then wet and then dry and then wet, it's like a sponge, when Gino explains it. And it really is. That's how I think about myself when I do a dry and then I drink. Because you have the best releases after a dry, right? When you start drinking, my goodness, what comes out, because you squeezed, right? You squeezed your liver, you squeezed your spleen, God knows everything, all your cells, they squeeze, they release, and then they get flushed, and then you squeeze again and you flush and squeeze. It's really you feel it, you see it with your own eyes what happens.
Elaine, where does seaweed fit in the obstructive level? I eat mostly fruit and I do love my nori wraps with celery, tomato, cucumber. No, I put seaweeds as wild herbs. They're wild herbs of the ocean. And
we have them in some formulas, I guess, right?
Yeah, the
Irish moss.
eating seaweed, I would put in the category of eating wild greens. They are more obstructive than fruit when you're eating them as foods, right? They're more obstructive than fruit, but
herbs, yeah.
Yeah, they would be less obstructive than cultivated food, cultivated greens, because of their high field strength. So I enjoy them. We love our
they're
seaweeds.
delicious. Nori especially, I love it. But also Irish moss is nice.
Yeah, Irish moss. If you've never tried Irish moss, it's really nice and
very filling.
Yeah, it's kind of bland tasting. But
on the side of a salad.
It's nice because it's crunchy.
And it's filling and it helps you move your bowels. We have it in the bowel formula.
Anthony, some days I can take it. The please eat something by others, but some days I can't. So I eat what I know. Yeah, it's it never goes away, Anthony. 30 years. I just recently, last season change, I did 45 days, very, very, very dry, for the most part. And people eat something. People I've known, grown up with, and stuff. It doesn't go away. It never goes away. for me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't phase me at all. I just whatever. Yeah.
I find it much
It's,
easier. The easiest way to visit people is when I'm dry fasting. When I'm drinking, it's a little bit harder. And when I'm eating, it's the hardest. It really is the hardest, even if you bring your own food. Why don't you try some of this, you know? And then you're thinking, okay, next time I want to be fasting when I come here
yeah.
because they want me to try everything, salty food and this and that, even if it's, you know, just vegetables with lots of salt or something.
Socializing is the biggest challenge for people. And
But yeah,
if you live with people that are not living in the same lifestyle, you know, it's a big challenge there. Being exposed to all the other foods, you know, and that we've seen that. I've seen that over 30 something years. And that's very, very difficult for people. Like, you know, somebody wanted to go down the healing path, but they were just too overwhelmed by their partners or family members to maintain, you know, a different lifestyle. And some of them are not around anymore. I've seen that one too many times, but it's all about choice, free will. So yeah, thanks, Gino. I was wondering when it goes away,
absolute
it
best
doesn't.
releases after
Yeah.
absolute best releases after the dries is what made me a believer. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Especially when we have done the long fast, right? Because you really see it. You see the difference between dry and wet and dry and wet. And it definitely made me a believer too, because it just inspires you.
This is why the levels are so much more powerful, because it gives you a way better understanding. Unless you are completely emotionally ready to live level 7 and not go back to food. That's an option.
The lifestyle is the way to go.
Very, very few will go down that road. I think as time goes on, we're going to see more going down the road of wanting to live on the fields. The liquid is, you know, massive fasting is living on the fields, not raw juice fasting. Massive fasting is living on the fields. And even fewer will go down the road of no drinking. So that's a whole different levels. But does it make you more godly to go down those roads? You can all answer those questions yourself. It's all about your emotion and intent. It doesn't matter that you eat or not.
Yeah, there are amazing people who are eating every day. And they're amazing.
So Elaine puts Irish Master smoothies, awesome. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this till the end of our times. When we're living a fasting lifestyle, meaning dealing with people making comments to ourselves and so on and so forth when we fast. But as time goes on, you're not going to be fluctuating as much with weight. I went really, really hard in the dry, and I got down to probably one of the lowest levels I think I ever have in my adult life. Weight wise, I squeezed really hard. So you know, it's okay, because you're going to change if you don't drink. I mean, if you don't eat and you just drink, you're going to change. If you don't eat or drink, you're going to change. Your body is going to change. And it's all going to be set through the emotion of how the physicality is going to look like.
You know, I feel after some time, that's it. You know, at the beginning, you're gonna have a massive weight loss. There's no question about it. If you are a little bit overweight, if you are very overweight, you're gonna have a lot of weight loss. And if you're, you know, a little bit overweight, you're gonna have also all that extra weight is gonna go. It's just gonna go. You cannot be holding on to weight while let's say doing massive fast for a year or something, you know, a high level, let's say level 5, level 6, 7, you know, there's no way you're going to be holding a lot of extra fat.
The levels, if we look at way back when I set out the first protocol, it was all mumbo jumbo English, but you know, people started understanding what to do after answering a million questions. But it was always right from the start. I said, this is a lifestyle. And very, very, very few understood what I was saying about that. And we've had so many going through the eventing thing. And,
without knowing it really, because
like
we think, oh yeah, after a long fast,
I've,
I'm gonna have a perfect life diet. And sure, I can put 1 or 2 days of fasting per week. Yeah.
I've done
Yeah,
like
it's not that easy.
I've done a lot of fasts and a lot of long fasts. And um, coming out of those, like all the challenges that everybody has, I go through them. I went through them.
Mm.
But for me,
And you still go through them, and I still go through them if I do a
yeah,
long fast.
for me, this is part of the experience. I didn't curse at anybody. I didn't curse at Arnold Herod or anybody. It's part of the experience. Let's see where it goes and do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4. Okay, this is part of the experience. 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. Yep, it's part of the experience. No big deal. Okay, so now I need to be careful as you're going through this experience of what I'm going to eat. Body's more sensitive. Senses are starting to work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is my lifestyle. I've chosen my lifestyle since even after being in bedridden. I knew it was my lifestyle. I didn't back out of it because that was part of the experience to get to where we are today with master fasting. It was part of the experience, or otherwise I wouldn't have experienced it. So there's no big deal. But this is where the average Joe and Joanna just cannot comprehend what we're saying when they're listening to us until they start going through the experience. And what better way is through the levels?
I have to say something though. Even when I went through all the experiences and I still did a long fast, I still had a very hard time. Okay. It's not, and when you go through a long fast experience again,
Women,
you feel like you're so strong. No, even men, I have seen it. You feel so confident. Yeah, this time it's different. Of course, every time is going to be, every day of our lives is going to be different. But how many times did we say, all of us, this time it's going to be different? I'm in control, because when we fast, it's easier to control yourself.
yes,
No, very little cravings. But boy, you break it and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, now I know, I remember what we're talking about. So it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. This is very normal. That's why we say just whatever you do it as a lifestyle, without the extremism of from one side to another. Just do your best. Do your best. It's all challenging. It's not gonna be easy.
Elaine. Yep, I think I will not get much bigger, Elaine. I wouldn't keep that thought. You may be surprised.
Yeah,
Because
Marine, for example, he was very small for 2 years, maybe a year and a half, I don't know, because he did continuous fast, a master fast. And he was complaining a little bit about his weight because he was the first one to do a very long fast, right? And yeah, he eventually started gaining muscles, not fat, but muscles, and he was amazed. And you get, another thing is you feel uncomfortable when you lose a lot of weight. All of us do, right? But at some point you get more comfortable with yourself. This is one thing. Another thing is, and you get used to yourself, people get used to you, and I think that helps. It does help. I feel once you get used to that and make peace with that, I feel that helps your body weight. Maybe you look much happier, less stressed, maybe you look like you're healthy again.
Yeah, if remember where you came from, that's number one, right? What position would you rather be in, with weight and bedridden, or where you are? We've already answered that, we know. But the other thing is that you're going to have to just put more intent and emotion on what body type you want to have and allow it to manifest. And
it takes time though, right?
Don't worry about any time frame, Elaine. Just keep that focus of where you want to be. We've seen it so many times. We've people's skin and bones, and then they started putting on weight. But let's look in the eating world. I've seen a lot of people that are very, very skinny, and they eat every day. That's another challenge. But they're very, very, very thin. and they eat
But
every day because,
obstructed
yeah,
too,
they're
right?
all obstructing the body. Nothing, no field interaction get through. So they're not absorbing any of the fields from the foods they eat. That's another problem. But I'm just saying, you know, um, the challenge is with when somebody is not in a is in a challenged state of health, and then they go fast, and the people that know them see them lose all the weight. That's the challenge. But there's lots of very thin people that eat. Anthony, that's where fasted lifestyles has to be brought into harmony or not. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about that being in harmony, isn't it? And it takes time, and it's fine. Like, give it all the time that whatever. If we have to take our time to be in peace with ourselves, being small, love it, enjoy it, live it, love it. You know, live it and love your body, love the transformation. People might criticize you. Oh, you're so small. Are you fasting? Yes, I'm fasting. You look so small now. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm small, but you know, I'm actually loving it. It takes time to love it, though, right? It takes time to love it. At the beginning, you're shocked by your body.
Anthony, I brought it, or it was already for this in harmony as a lifestyle up and down. It's hard, but I'm good in harmony each time because I'm learning deeper laugh. Absolutely. This is what it's all about. Elaine, oh great, I want muscle. Yeah, Elaine. Focus on building muscle.
That would take some work, right?
Muscle.
You'll have to do some work.
Muscle weighs way more than obstructions and fat. Way more. It's much more dense. So you put muscle on, you're going to gain weight.
And that takes work, right?
That takes physical work. But living this lifestyle, it doesn't take anywhere near as much physical work as somebody who's plugged up. If you look at Elatom, look at Elatom from many years ago when he was on liquids, look at Elatom now. How much leaner he is and more muscular. Big difference. Yes, I'm getting used to the new self and some even people's attitude. Okay, I'm focusing on building muscle. Yeah, just focus on building muscle, and just keep going down that road. Anthony, I remember feeling odd in myself body after long fast weight loss because my limbs made me sit differently. Yeah, oh yeah, lay down differently and ankles were different. I'm body conscious guy, but now I'm not. Yeah, at the beginning, we all went through that. Anthony, you're not the only one. You start losing all this weight. Like when I went,
the first time, right?
When I went vegetarian, I lost weight from where I was. Then I went raw and I lost more weight. You know, more and got more into fasting, lost more weight, and so on and so forth. But you know, you start with the understanding through the experiences. You come to realize, what am I going to carry all this extra weight for? What's it doing for me? What's it doing for me?
Honestly, extra weight is extra waste.
Yeah. So you come to that realization. I feel way better. I can move way better. I'm more flexible. I have no pain. Why do I want that weight? I don't know, just because of the way we look and what we're used to and our preconceived ideas of how we're supposed to look and so on and so forth. If you look at the Aboriginals, many around the world, but there was an article that Hans sent me from Australia. They were lean and mean, very lean and muscular, very lean, and no health problems. No health problems they had. And these people I've watched, there was a documentary. I don't know, did I share that? Maybe I forgot. They looked
like underweight to the average person, but they were very strong people, right?
Yeah, these guys are in, in the desert and doing extreme things with that extreme heat and so on and so forth. Yeah, what's normal? We don't know what's normal anymore. We know what's common. We know what's normal. Common and normal is two different things, and we don't know what that is. But what we do know is the soul is in control through the true source, and we can have any body we want. We know that's possible. But what we are having challenges with is the societies we're living in and our preconceived idea, our belief system, the program that's running. That's what we have a problem with. And that's what's keeping us from probably being able to gain more weight without obstructions. That's what I believe. That's my understanding. So, and this, we will develop this as more and more people live this lifestyle, we will see people
Leaner and leaner.
maybe leaner, maybe put on more weight, and being where it's supposed to be. That's what I say, being where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, leaner
If,
and
if you
stronger,
if you don't have anything in your GI tract, that's automatically, instantaneously 10 to 20 pounds, depends on the person. Some people back up a little more than others there. 10 to 20 pounds with your GI tracts, backed up with food, eating food all the time. 10 to 20 pounds. It's a lot of weight, right? And that's what we're carrying around. When your GI tract is very efficient from living one of the levels and very light, you're going to be that 10 to 20 pounds lighter than the average person, right? So, which one is it? Do you want to carry that excess weight? Or, and by when you do carry that excess weight, what other things happen depending on your level of obstruction? Is the more obstructive, the more inflammation, the more fluid retention. And the fluid retention makes you look like you're heavier because you are heavier. A liter of water, we're not holding water, we're holding fluids. But a liter of water is 1 kilo. 1 kilo. And what happens when you start dry fasting and fasting? You lose lots of liquid. You're just peeing and peeing and peeing because the body's able to get rid of what? Inflammation, which makes the body hold on all that excess fluid. And why does it hold on all that excess fluid?
To neutralize.
To neutralize and cool down.
Yeah.
So this is the new understanding. If we're going to be...
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff, like the water neutralizing toxicity and all that, I learned that also from, I learned it from Dr. Morse initially. And, we are repeating it here and we're seeing it here. It's like more than ever that your body is releasing all that excess fluid, and your joints are much happier,
Now,
yeah.
Now I pick up 2 pounds of dry pasta. And your mother's saying, okay, I didn't get it all. We missed it. Elaine, I'm still dealing with shoulder injury anyway now, so I'm simply happy to heal. Concerning movement and adding muscle, believe it or not, less is more too. Yep. You don't need to be working out 5 days, 7 days a week like some people are. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. Putting all that excess. If you need to do it for short periods of time, for a few days in a row or something, because whatever, no problem. You can handle it. But we do not need to be doing. I do my light yoga, 5 Tibetan right session, 15, 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour. That's all I need.
Concerning movement and adding muscles, believe it or not, less is more too. Absolutely.
Elaine, I found that the hard way as I injured shoulder due to overuse. Yeah, but once you're de-obstructed at certain levels, you're going to get injured way less.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So like you had prior shoulder injuries, so you still haven't worked out what's going on in there, Elaine, and it will work itself out. Patience, persistent consistency, keep the faith.
So you would injure yourself less often, but also you would recover much faster, right? When we fast.
Eventually, yeah. Jenna, have you had any parents of young children living this lifestyle? Unsure how to raise my daughter to eat when my beliefs of how much food, what foods we actually need has changed so drastically. Eating disorders, etc., are so common with young women. Eating is a disorder, Jenna, is my belief system. What we do with young children, now, Jenna, we keep the house full of fresh, ripe fruit and, leafy greens, salads, and have them eat whenever they want. Say, when you guys are hungry, eat. Do not make, set times for eating meals. Maybe you want to have one as a family, no more than that. And maybe you have one day that you don't have any prepare, or 2 days a week that you don't prepare any food. Just so you guys eat when you're hungry. Get that formation and training within them.
It'd be nice to do a dry with them once a week.
Yeah. Start having them learn that. That's what I would do. not saying that this is the time to eat, let's go
Yeah.
eat. That's the way I grew up.
The best thing, honestly, in my opinion, for kids is for you to live the best life you can live and let them watch you. Maybe they will be inspired. But yeah, have food for them for sure, you know. But you do your thing and have the food for them, you know, maybe one meal a day, like fruits and then vegetables. You know, they don't need to be eating all day long, in my opinion.
I would
Maybe have some juice for them all day long.
I would get the message through to them about how we need to nourish the emotion. That's how we feed ourselves, by nourishing the emotions, not by eating. Once you nourish the emotion, you will never be hungry. Teach them about the fields, how tapping into all the different energy sources. Go out in nature, go on hikes, have them interact with the plants and feel the fields of the plants and so on and so forth. Walking barefoot,
Maybe
touching the earth.
also maybe a hybrid would be good for the kids, you know.
Yeah, the
Something
hybrid
similar.
is great. That's what I would recommend for children.
And there were many parents who have kids who have done
Oh, yeah.
long master fast.
Many. Before I missed this, Anthony, by the days you strength train, you're pushing the limit to your harmony, like we do the long dry fasting. Yep, we push, but we know the limit, and then we take the time to hydrate for days. Train hard 1-2 days, then take off 5. Yeah, I've shared before. Jenna, totally love that. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Elaine, okay, yeah, did.
You shared about your workouts or what?
Yeah, my workout. Sorry, I shared about I was strength training for strength, for power, and I was doing very heavy weights with small ranges, not full range, because full range you can't do as much weight as small ranges. So I was doing very heavy weights. I had 4 different workouts. 4. Every week I would do one workout. Did I get stronger? You better believe it, I got stronger. I got way stronger, way stronger. One workout once a month. One type of workout once a month. Remember what I just said? And I got way stronger than I ever was in my younger years by implementing that type of workout, because in that one workout a month for a muscle group, you're putting everything you possibly can into it. And then what? Then you allow the body to repair and restore. And the body goes, wait, I put all that strain into it. I need to build it stronger. And that's what it does. The workout doesn't build it stronger. The workout triggers the body to build it stronger. See the difference? And you need the rest in between. So yeah, I was doing yoga every day, but you need the rest in between to allow the body to repair and heal and build itself stronger. That's what it's all about. People that are go work out every day with these weights and stuff, they're just putting enormous stress on their bodies. Like bodybuilders, we know they're using all kinds of chemicals and drugs and stimulants to allow them to carry on and do all these crazy workouts. It's all done through drugs. There was a bodybuilder, Mike Menster, who used to do this type of workout all out, and he would only work out, I don't remember how many workouts, but way less than all the other bodybuilders. And he was way stronger, and he was ripped. He was doing steroids, and that he paid the price for that. Him and his brother both were bodybuilders. They both died in their early 50s, I think it was, of kidney failures, right? Because of all the drugs. And when you're putting all that stress on the body, when you're doing all the stimulants there, you're putting way more stress on the body, especially the kidneys. 2 little organs, miraculous, beautiful organs the size of your ears. They do so much, and they have so much to give us. So we need to nourish them and nurture them. So yeah, Jenna, look at the hybrid for the children, and get them to start dry fasting windows every day and once a week, 24 hours. Everybody can dry fast 24 hours a week. Start. Children will pick it up.
Let them see you, and they like it. They like it.
Especially when they start tapping into the fields. you're gonna probably be worried about them not eating because they're being nourished, and you don't have to be, as long as they're nourished. Will they lose weight? Probably, depending what level of obstructiveness they're eating now.
I wouldn't worry about kids not
Yeah.
eating or dry fasting
When the kids are
because
hungry,
yeah, you would
they will
know.
eat.
You would know.
They will eat. It's the let me get this one, Anthony. After pushing exercise 1 or 2 days, will live in a fasting lifestyle. You can go days after recovery, clean food, nutrition, herbs, fast way, body balances. Sometimes I go hard one day, every 6 days, and time up. Great, yeah, yeah. Tune up, yeah, tune up, great, yeah. Do you push your workouts on your dry days? If you've been living this lifestyle for a while, and you're used to working out on dry days, yeah, of course you can push a lane. But be careful, be prudent. If you're working out with weights, you want to be always careful around dry days because you can get into a dizzy spell if you're prone to that. Even if you're not prone to that, and it may happen occasionally. So you got to be careful to not have things drop on you and you kill yourself.
Yeah, when you're used to the dries, you will feel if you're pushing yourself, you will feel it. You will feel it. You'll feel your heart racing, so you know, okay, you know, I need to take a break. You'll have maybe fever, and like hot, cold feelings, temperatures, and you would know that you're pushing. You know, your body's releasing something, so you need a little break.
I used to do the 20K bike ride around here. You know, look at my old videos. I haven't done it for 3 years now. Since I started taking care of my mother, a lot of things changed, but I'll get back to it one day. There's a big, huge hill that you got to go down and up, and I did it through my dry days. You know, it was a little more challenging some days, but some days it just flew, no problem. I broke records on my dry days, actually. So yeah, it's you know what gets in the way is our belief system. Believe it or not, is our belief system. How can you be having all this energy when you haven't eaten for so many days and haven't drank? Blah, 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 all this crap goes through your head.
But also, your body is detoxing heavy.
Yeah, of course.
Dry, so you have to take it easy.
That's why some days it's more challenging.
You have to build.
When you get through that, bang! That's why I broke records on dry days. I love my kids, yeah, my kidneys, yeah. So yeah, Elaine, prudence, yeah, push through your dries. If you're up to it. If you're one of those days, you know, it's a bit off, relax a bit. Allow the body to rest, no big deal. Until the next one. But yeah, do some more muscle weight bearing exercises if you can. You can use body weight. It doesn't have to be with weights. There's many videos out there you can learn from.
Yoga is, I mean, some yoga is really hard, you know, like lots of body weight.
Rebounding is a great exercise. It's a cellular strengthener. It builds the muscles of the cells, rebounding. So if you can do that 15-20 minutes a day, it's a really great exercise. I did it regularly for years, probably like close to 15 years, every single day. Now I'm not doing it regularly, but I do use it occasionally. Excuse me. Anthony, I tend to do better with aerobic on dry days. Bike, swim, walk, jog, no weights, no. Yeah.
So lighter exercises.
Yeah, it's you know, over the years things will change and you'll maybe go through different experiences, but just ride with what you are resonating with, and it's always okay. You know, it's just wonderful.
You know, yoga is usually, for me, yoga is much nicer when you're dry. Buteyko as well, you know, like it's much easier when you're dry fasting.
Breathe less, more energy.
And with the yoga too.
Remember, breathing is just as addictive. Sorry, it's more addictive than drinking and eating. Try living without it. That's how addictive it is.
It's like automatic, right? Your body wants to breathe more.
Yeah, but when you start eating less and not drinking and you fast, right, your body doesn't hardly want to breathe. So there's cases of these breatharians that would talk about them not breathing for days, not breathing. They got into that state of not breathing, and with all the energy and so on and so forth. That's a whole nother realm. And people are saying, "What are you talking about? Now you're really way out to it." No, if you've been living a mass fasting lifestyle, without doubt, when you don't eat and don't drink, you're going to breathe less and your energy goes up. It's that simple, right? So where's the limit to this? There is no limit. We don't know where the limit is. We're just scratching the surface of our understanding of where we can take this. Living exclusively on the fields, where we're not interfering with anything else in matter state. We're just directly on fields. Now, how's that? Isn't that amazing? Is it believable? Not for most people, and that's okay. I don't crave water, get thirsty either. Like a miracle if that word still makes sense. Blows my mind. Exactly, Anthony, because you're tapped it into the fields. Your body's hydrated. Otherwise, you'd be thirsty. Never mind what everybody else is saying about the thirst thing and everything. We have a different understanding. Elena, do rebound every day. Walk, light yoga, bike. Okay, awesome. There you go. Look at what you're doing these days. Isn't it amazing compared to where you were just a couple of years ago? Anthony, body weight work on bars and move modern approaches yoga pose for strength. Hardly use weights now. Yeah, you don't need weights. If you want to build really high strength, then you're going to be surpassing your level of strength with your body weight. So you're going to need more weight. And that's why I was able to build tremendous strength with, tons of weight and a lot of weight, moving tons of weight with each exercise, especially the legs. I think I posted a video of what I was doing, and that wasn't the strongest. I had 2 racks of full weights on it. It was just like, wow, I'm just moving very small, but man, oh man, to recover the legs from that workout, it took up to 2 weeks sometimes. Like I could still feel it. And the power, like when I was riding my bike, the extra power I had, it was just incredible. No comparison. So yeah, you can build strength. There's many ways to do it. Elena, definitely get thirsty on dry days. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Keep working at it. Keep staying focused. Keep doing your breath work. Use the curled tongue, curling the tongue back and sucking on it. And also, what will help is sucking on a pit of a date or an olive. Olives are harder and than dates. Dates kind of, if you chew them, they will break. Olives, you'll break your teeth. It's so hard. So yeah, if you do that, or a cherry pit, they all work really great, and you will feel yourself more hydrated. Because why? Ask yourself, why would that be? Let's go back to where the spirit of the soul of the seed. We interact with the field of the soul of the seed, and the body's able to use those fields to nourish and start hydrating itself. Try it. If you haven't tried, I've shared this before. It's awesome. I like, especially when you're doing heavy work with dust, it's very challenging to be dry fasting. And I've been doing that a lot of that in the last couple of years or so. So the sucking on the seed of the pits really helps. Really, really helps. And if you haven't tried it, try it out. Give us feedback. Share your experiences. Share with people. People want to know. People want to hear from different people. People don't want to believe just me, right? Everybody's tired of me. As you can see, there's nobody on the call. Everybody's tired of me. So, the information, we put it out there. We've changed the world of information on fasting, dry fasting, etc. We've changed the world. We've changed it completely with a new understanding. And, it's amazing. And what Masterfast has brought to the plate. I love chewing on date pits. I do that a lot. Awesome. Yes, I got that tip from you. Okay, you remembered. Awesome. So yeah, try the olive or the cherry because they're harder. They have different field strengths. They have different field strength. The date pit, they're good, but they bring a little bit of dryness to me, a little bit, whereas the cherry or olive do not. And it's interesting. It's very interesting because what's inside seeds, right? Nuts and seeds, fat. You're not getting it when because they're hard as a rock. You're not going to break them. You're not getting it, but you're getting the fields. You're getting the fields. You're interacting with the fields of those matter state souls, right? Anthony's brother saw your weightlifting pictures. Yeah, I was up there, up to 185 pounds. Maybe I get close to 190, which that weight I hadn't been since I was a young teenager. The most I ever weighed was 195 or 6, I think I hit as a young teenager working out, all full of pig's ass and everything else, like prosciutto and that stuff. Um, Brother, you launched many, many ships. Thank you. Ran in this past. You're welcome. We're just sharing our experiences, right, brother? I don't have all the answers by far. We never said we did, but boy, oh man, all the from what I put myself through for whatever reason, I needed to go through this, I guess, to bring this information forth. We learned a lot, and it's been a blessing. It's been an absolute blessing, and a blessing to watch people go through these experiences that I myself went through. So it's very, very similar experiences everybody's gone through in these last 6 years of master fasting. Very similar. And when somebody's going through something, I've pretty much gone through everybody's experience, except for the people that did the heavy pharmaceuticals like antidepressants. I never did any of those, so I didn't have to withdraw from that stuff, right? So I didn't have to. I didn't experience that. And those there is from what the guided people we've guided going off of that stuff, including my mother, is absolute one of the toughest things I've seen. So yeah, be careful when you're on that stuff, and be very, very prudent in weaning yourself slowly. Well, and you evolved as all in all things do naturally. Very organic approach here. Yeah, we're making changes continuously from everything we've learned from all you people and from ourselves. It's a whole learning experience. That's why we love people to share, because it helps us all. It helps us all. And this is how the levels evolved into what they are today from what we've learned. And I wouldn't have it any other way right now, because people can do whatever they want and choose, and they still do. But there's no point in us putting energy guiding people in eventing. Not interested. Not interested anymore. We know the power of master fasting. The foundation's been laid. The experiences have been expressed of what the power of master fasting has conveyed to everyone. So just live it and love it now as a lifestyle, and then watch the power unfold. This is going to take a little bit longer for people to come to that realization of the power, but it's going to be much more dramatic over time and much more powerful in the understanding of the experience. And then if you want to do a long event, kind of level 7 for a long time, you may try that. And then you have the understanding that, wait a minute, if I got to come off of this and go back to food, I got to be careful. And I really don't want to go back to eat 7 days a week because that'll kill me. So I would suggest if you do any level 7 for an extended period of time, not to go below level 5, meaning no more than 2 days a week of eating. That's it. I wouldn't do more than that. So we are at the 2-hour mark. Thank you so much for joining. It's awesome when we get interaction. Of course, we're available on Zoom for anybody who wants to join us on Zoom. Let's just say a little meditation prayer of, close our eyes, take a few deep breaths. Lots of stagnant air out, get into the shallow breathing. It's much more powerful for me. And let's put all our energy in being the change we want to see, elevating all the souls, all the imbalanced souls, especially the leaders, that they may move in the direction of peace, balance, correct conduct. And if they don't, they will not be happy campers, because their souls will not keep them happy, moving in the opposite direction of peace, balance, correct conduct. And let's elevate all living beings on this planet and throughout all the universes for perpetuity towards peace, balance, correct conduct. And I thank everybody for joining. Been a blast as usual, and it's awesome. Level 7 includes many weeks of watching the YouTubes to really see what is involved. Makes all the difference. Absolutely, Anthony. And we keep learning. We keep gaining more understanding. And stay focused, everyone. Stay in touch. Keep us updated occasionally. And enjoy the lifestyle. Love it. Live it. Love it. And just saying goodbye. Ciao, ciao. See everybody.
Ciao. Thank you.